Good morning everyone, from the streets of beautiful and sunny Kyiv. So I believe a good way to illustrate part of day-to-day life in Kyiv is to show you a mall. Because I can make a comparison with how it was before the war by actually showing you what's happening. Now, I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to film inside, so if that will happen, I'm gonna just go out and keep talking to you. And the reason why I'm not sure if I will be able to film is that during this war, there are a lot of places where filming is not allowed. Okay, so we're in. Let's see if anyone will have a problem with me filming here. Back when I was living here before the war, there were way more people. Way more people. The stores were a little bit fuller, and the traffic of people was heavier. So why I believe things are like this? I think there are two reasons. One of the reasons is, of course, many people left Kyiv at the beginning of the conflict. And according to statistics, the population of Kyiv is almost the same as it was before. But it's important to note that a lot of people that left, they're not necessarily the ones that came back. So people that had the means to just leave and settle somewhere around Europe, they didn't necessarily come back. There was no reason for them to come back. But a lot of people that had to flee the war, to come from the east of the country, from the south of the country, they definitely settled here for now, where it's relatively safer. Actually, way more safe, due to the fact that there are no active fights here. So this is one of the reasons why there are less people, due to the fact that some of them, after fleeing their affected areas, might not be in the financial position to just roam around malls and buy things. Another reason is because at the end of the day we have to understand that this is a war, and during a war people are not as happy to spend on clothes, and they are more likely to try and have some money aside, try to be more careful with the spending. Not to mention that after the war started, everything here, almost everything, especially in terms of food, in terms of bills, they became more expensive. Also, I would like to show this. It's Massimo Dutti, currently closed. This is Oysho, currently closed. A lot of clothing companies left the country after the war started, and Massimo Dutti, Zara, they're part of these brands. I mean, they are actually all belonging to the same brand, to Inditex. So when the war started, they left. According to some discussions I've heard, they might come back, but it's not yet sure. Let's try the second floor of the mall, and let's see what's happening there. And while I'm gonna be on the stairs, I'm gonna show you just how empty it is. So this is the situation now. Also, I just came, and the first two brands I'm seeing, they're closed. Stradivarius is part of the same Inditex I mentioned earlier, and currently they don't operate in Ukraine. And we have Pull&Bear here, also closed. And yeah, you can see how empty everything is. Now, don't get me wrong, there are still people that come, that buy things. It's also an hour that may not be like the rush hour for a mall. I think we're like 11 in the morning or something like that. But even so, at this time there used to be way more people. Probably I'm gonna head out the mall and yeah, keep talking to you about some other things that were impacted by the war in Ukraine. So people don't understand also another thing. I've seen a comment on TikTok actually the other day, and it was just a clip from Kyiv, from the center. Some people just having some fun, being at the terrace, some street dancers near that terrace. And I mean, I've seen multiple comments, but one of the comments was like, what war are you talking about? There is no war there. Look, people are having fun, they don't care, and stuff like that. And nothing can be more wrong than such a statement, because first and foremost, let's keep in mind that not everyone is on the front lines. So let's keep that clear, right? And it's also very important to think about the economy. I think people going and having a drink, people going and having fun, having an ice cream, going out is better for the economy. And not only that, it's better also for mental health, because let me tell you something. I came here, as I said before, I came here at the beginning of May. I came back here at the beginning of May. And having an attack, having a rocket attack or a drone attack every single day almost, it affects you quite a lot. Think about waking up at 3 in the morning, hearing explosions. I don't think this is the best experience from a mental health perspective. So what do you want them to do? Do you want them just to wake up in the morning and stay in their corner and be depressed? No, of course. They're gonna go out, they're gonna enjoy the sun, they're gonna enjoy the city, they're gonna enjoy the streets, they're gonna have a drink. So this is normal. Last week there was an air alert here in Kyiv, and I've seen footage, you can watch it on YouTube, with a bunch of kids from school just running around, panicked and scared, towards a shelter. Now, if this is not war, I don't know what it is. Because when people think about war, they immediately think about destruction, everything is burning, everything is rubble, but they rarely think about the effect the war has on the population, especially on their emotional state, on their minds. Because think about it, you're a kid, right? You're 10, you're 12, you're 8, you go to school, and all of a sudden you hear these air alerts, which I don't know if you've ever heard one, but they're excruciatingly painful for the ears if you're close, and they're actually inducing you panic. So think about hearing this as a kid and knowing that you have to run, you have to hide. You've already seen the footage on TV with destroyed buildings, destroyed houses, people dying, and you don't want to be one of them. And you have to run, you have to go through the streets and reach the shelter. So always keep that in mind, and never think that everything is just about how destroyed the city is. No. I mentioned earlier an increase in prices, and I think I should give this piece of news a little bit more attention. Let's not forget that Ukraine overall is not just Kyiv. Kyiv is Kyiv is definitely the wealthiest city in the country, and at least looking on the streets that I am right now, everything seems pretty normal, everything seems pretty alright, but an increase in prices had a huge effect on the rural population. For example, Ukraine is like every other country in the Eastern Europe. Pensions here are incredibly small. Salaries are also very small. With the increase in prices that came because of the war, a lot of people really struggle right now. This is not talked about enough in news outlets, because everyone is too busy with of course, the main news with the war, with the counteroffensive, with how things are moving, which is definitely extremely important, but we shouldn't neglect the financial situation that a lot of people are in right now. So, as a conclusion, maybe, life right now in Kyiv is separated by certain moments. If you're out during the day, it's pretty nice, pretty calm, everything works, bars, restaurants, cafes, everything seems pretty normal. But things change a little bit when you enter, as you've seen earlier, when you enter a mall, or when you enter a grocery store and you realize how many people were there before the war. And especially the biggest difference is when you hear the air alert, right? Because that shatters the little amount of peace you think you have when you hear the air alert and you might have to run to hide. So this is currently the situation here. So that's gonna be it for the vlog today. I'm keeping this one short, and I hope I managed to shed a little bit of light of the day-to-day life of people here. So thanks for joining me, and I trust I will see you in the next video. Take care.